So he clarified, oh, bad moments can end up becoming good moments. Okay, I agree with that. I think that's a great insight, right? But I still can't see it in my mind. So I need to clarify it some more. Do you see where I'm going with this? All right, guys. So now that we've had an experience of what pressure does to our mind, how it speeds us up, how it tries to push us into the future, how it tries to make us feel clever and all the rest of it, right? And we have some tools to combat it. We slow down, we get into the present moment, we let the client's story unfold in our own mind so that we see it almost like a play, although it doesn't have to be a visual thing. You're experiencing it with them. You're putting yourself into their story right along with them. That's probably the best way of putting it, right? And the more you do that, the easier it is to know what to ask next. I want you to experience that inside of a conversation that starts to go more in that sort of coaching direction. There's still not going to be a coaching conversation yet, but you should notice that everything we did before the break, all the ahas, all the smiling, all the enthusiasm, all the celebrating should come out naturally without you trying to do it, if you can maintain that present moment, know nothing, nothing to prove state of mind that you've just been cultivating. And I appreciate one little round of this game is not going to make you the master of it yet, but now at least you have a game you can play with friends, family. It's a fun game, by the way. Play with friends and family, with each other, to really cement and drill and hone this coaching mindset. Does it make sense, guys? I want you to see that when you get it, suddenly the conversation becomes really easy to handle. So here's how we're going to do this. You're going to be in a new group of partners in a moment. And when you get in, I want you to ask a simple question, right? What is a great lesson that you have learned throughout your life, right? As a rule of thumb, the older the person you're talking to, the more choice they have, right? Because they have a lot more life to choose from. The key here is, I want you to clear your mind as much as possible. Take all the lessons from the game you just played and apply them here. Don't try and do anything. Just be willing to let the story unfold. And if you can't mentalize that story, if you can't create a mental representation of what their story is, ask them the question you need to ask so it clarifies in your own mind. That's the only thing you need to do. And then if you feel like celebrating, celebrate. If you feel like agreeing, then agree, right? If you feel like smiling, smile. But most important of all, be completely engaged in their story as you were in this game. Does that make sense to you guys? Any questions? So let's give you each one 5 minutes. So it'll be a 15-minute exercise. Everyone gets 5 minutes to play with this. And try and remember the highlights of when the game was the easiest for you and apply those lessons in here. Super simple. Everything else, just watch it coming out naturally without you trying. All right. And up here wants an example. I'm not sure an example. It's very hard to give an example because you have to be inside my mind to see the example, right? From the outside, it just looks like I'm asking a question. If you really want me to, I can do the demo if you want, but all right, can I have it volunteer? I'll do a really quick version of this just because the actual lesson you'll miss because you won't see it inside my head. Jonathan, let's bring Jonathan up here a second.
Oh, fantastic.
Excellent. So Jonathan, what's a great life lesson that you acquired in your lifetime?
It's just this idea that life has its, ping pong-iness, the bouncing back and forth, that always there's a drive to that.
Okay, what do you mean by bouncing back and forth?
Like in the short term, it seems like maybe there isn't a purpose. And
right.
In the longer term, as you look back to experiences you might not have chosen,
right.
or consciously chosen, that they had a purpose. They created the person that you are now.
Oh, I get it. So I have a sense that you had like some actual specific moments when that happened to you. Am I thinking way off base here?
I've had a number of times where I've looked back and gone, oh, this is how I get to be me, is
all right.
Stuff that may not have actually been fun.
Can you give me one?
I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
All right. So how do you know that you've had those experiences? There's this insight that it wasn't so bad.
Well, I remember thinking, having the thought this is, you know, this makes sense of all of that mess in the past. Like for example, like the thing you were asking for a minute ago, times when I found myself in a.
Thank you so much. We're about to get into a story which will be much easier to visualize, right? So what happened here? Thank you so much for doing that. And I apologize, Jonathan, for timing out. I just want everyone to experience it rather than me just having fun with you, right? So what happened here? We're trying to get to a clear story, right? Because, well, I first got an abstract image, the ping pong ball. So what did I do? I literally saw a ping pong ball going back and forward. And I thought to myself, what does this mean? I have no idea what he means by this, right? So I asked, what does it mean? What do you mean by that? So he clarified, oh, bad moments can end up becoming good moments. Okay, I agree with that. I think that's a great insight, right? But I still can't see it in my mind. So I need to clarify it some more. Do you see where I'm going with this? And all the time, I wasn't trying to think about my next question. I was really seeking to understand where Jonathan's coming from and to have as close to his experience of this ping-ponging around that he's talking about as possible within the time frame that we have. Does it help everyone? Does that kind of give you the kind of demo you were looking for? Right? Jonathan, you're a superstar. Thank you for coming up.